Hello friends, I am Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you doing today? How's life in your world? How's things where you are? I hope everything is good. I hope that you're safe and sound, and that everything's great. I received something in the mail today. It's not this at all. I received something in the mail that I would have never ever purchased on my own, but I received it as a gift. And that's awesome. And I opened it and I looked at it and I immediately found tons of inspiration. And that is a magazine, specifically Wood magazine. This is an actual printed magazine. I can't remember the last time I actually held a physical magazine in my hand and read something. I honestly have no clue. At least a decade, probably longer, since I've held a physical magazine. And I don't even know what the last magazine I would have owned or had is. It's just something that doesn't occur to me as being a thing. But it was sent to me. Jonathan sent this. Jonathan sent me a lot of things in this shop, and he said, "Hey, I've got the option to give a couple of subscriptions away. Do you want one?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll check it out." And immediately I see, I'm missing a world. I'm missing something here because I watch a lot of makers on YouTube, and I look up a lot of making type information on the internet, and while it's a great resource for learning, it's also a tethered resource, meaning that if, say, I find something on here that I want to do in this shop, I bring it down here and I have to have my phone turned on, and I can either try to follow along on a video or try to scroll and read through something, and the screen keeps turning off while I'm doing something. It's not a very good medium for doing, in a workspace. And in fact, it's usually playing music through some earbuds, or it's just, sitting on the side because I don't want to damage it in my pocket. But having this in your hands, say there's a technique in here that you want to try. This is making a planer cart, for instance. If you want to build a planer cart, which I just built, within the last month. If you want to build a planer cart, here's plans. And you don't have to print anything. It's already here. I feel, I'm 40. I'm 40 years old. 40-year-old man. I grew up without the internet. There was no internet. I remember when I was a kid and I discovered BBSs, bulletin board systems, dial-in systems, when I had a 14.4K modem and I could dial in to a local BBS and chat with people and play MUDs. That was all pre-internet stuff. I remember the Prodigy and America Online and CompuServe were services that people purchased that were essentially graphical BBSs before the internet as a whole became a thing. So I grew up with this. I grew up with Popular Mechanics. I grew up with the Boy Scouts magazine. I grew up with there was an outdoorsy magazine that I used to get. I grew up with this medium. I used to get magazines and be like, oh, I'm going to build this project or I'm going to do that. Like electronics magazines that would show all these cool gadgets and people were inventing back when you had to, breadboard stuff. And it's gone to the wayside. It's just not something that I would have even considered to be a useful medium until I saw this, until I got this and I opened it and I started looking through the projects in here. I started looking through the techniques that are explained in here and thought, this is amazing. How did I forget about this medium? There's got to be more. So, Wood magazine, not something I would have ever purchased for myself. Never saw the point until today. And now I'm like, yeah, this makes complete sense. And I'm extremely thankful for Jonathan for sending this to me. This is awesome, and I want to know, are there other things that I should be subscribed to like this? Are there other magazines that you find interesting about making, or well, that'd be it really. I'm not really interested in like video game magazines and stuff like that. I don't have mainstream systems. I'm a Nintendo guy, so I've never like video game magazines have always kind of bent towards the higher end gaming, and I never get to play those games, so I don't care. But you know, making, woodworking, that sort of stuff. There's got to be. I'm missing something. I'm missing something visceral, and I love to read. I'm a reader. I have a lot of books. Maybe someday. I've said before that I would take you on a house tour someday. I will someday, and I'll show you my library. And I have a lot of books. So I love to read. Let me know what I'm missing out on in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for being here as always. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, being amazing friends, being wonderful people. I appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Alexa, tell me a random fact.
Mount Everest is not the point furthest from the Earth's core. Because Earth bulges out around the equator, the summit of Mount Chimborazo, in Ecuador, is actually further away.
Never heard of it. Chimborazo. Do people climb that mountain?